Welcome to the YouTube channel of Legal Aid Trust. This video is one of the series of educational videos that will be available on this channel under the category General Awareness.
Hello friends. Today, let's try to understand the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 in greater detail. Why did this act come into existence? What is the aim of this act? This act is enacted towards protection of women from various forms of violences. This act is considered as one of the progressive and inclusive legislation which has been enacted for protection of women. And this act, it takes into consideration all the aspects of abuse, which includes physical abuse, verbal, sexual, and economical abuses. What are these abuses? I will explain to you subsequently. However, this act is applicable to all the members, whether temporarily or permanently living under one shelter. It also applies to the people who were earlier living under one shelter, but for some or the other reason, currently they are not residing together. Here, if any of the women can be mother, wife, daughter, sister. If any one of them are aggrieved by any of the acts in the form of abuse by anyone, it may be husband, father, brother, mother, sister, or any other person living with them in a shared household, or who were living with them in the shared household, if they commit any form of abuse against a person, then they can file a case under Domestic Violence Act. What's the meaning of domestic violence? The meaning of domestic violence is it includes harm and injury. When we tell harm and injury, if anyone commits an harm to any person by threatening them with the consequences of health hazards, or threatening them with the safety of their life, or it can be well-being of the person, that is considered as an abuse. Physical abuse is any person hitting others, a husband hitting a wife, or a brother hitting a sister, or a son hitting a mother, or threatening them with their consequences in the form of physical abuse, or pushing them to the walls, or anything. It can include as physical abuse. Sexual abuse includes forcing a wife for any sexual intercourse, or forcing them to see a pornographic movie or any obscene materials, or to act as an entertainer for any others, a husband's friends or a brother's friends or anyone else, to project themselves as a sexual object. Verbal or economical abuse includes you are abusing verbally, and with this verbal abuse includes telling, did you bring dowry from your father's house? Is this bought from your father's house? This is not purchased for your father's money, or small things which generally, without even knowing, these are various forms of mental abuse which we can give a woman will be used, and this causes emotional abuse to the women who is hearing this repeatedly. They are also considered as domestic abuse. And the examples are demanding to bring more money, or demanding her to go out of the house, the husband not eating the food cooked by the women repeatedly, the husband always complaining about the food which has been cooked, whether it can be by the old mother, wife, or sister, throwing the food away, or it can also be silence, mere silence by not talking to the people, which will also cause a lot of emotional stress on the women. These are also considered as verbal and emotional abuse. Economic abuse considers and include by not providing money to the daily needs of the wife or mother or sister or any women in the shared household, where they have been denied with basic facilities. If they are sick, they are not taken to hospital, they are not given adequate medical facilities, they are not properly maintained, they are not giving money for proper dressing, proper stay, and for fulfilling the basic needs. All these comes under the economical abuse. For whom is this act covered? This act covers mother, as I told, it covers mother, sister, wife, widow, or parents living in a shared household. This relationship can be in the form of marriage, or it can also be in the form of live-in relationship or adoption. In the case of live-in relationship, where both the adults have mutually agreed to stay together under a same roof as an husband and wife, but without getting married. This act is also applicable to them who have consciously taken a decision to live together as live-in relationship. Who can file a complaint? A complaint can be filed by any of the people who are affected. This complaint can only be filed by the women, as the name of the act itself suggests protection of women from domestic violence. So any women who are aggrieved by an act of a male, may be father, husband, brother, or their close relatives staying together, against them they can file a complaint. After filing complaint, what happens? This particular complaint can be filed before the jurisdictional police station or before a magistrate. Once the complaint is filed before a magistrate, the magistrate can order for a protection officer to go and look into the level of domestic abuse which has taken place in that particular house and submit an domestic violence report before the magistrate. The role of the protection officer here is to assist the magistrate in taking correct decisions, and in addition to that, the magistrate can also order various other remedies. The magistrate can issue protection orders to protect the women from various forms of abuse which they have undergone. And while we tell protection orders, to tell that the women should not be harassed or should not be moved away from her house, and in case the husband or any other person are threatening them, to protect them from any form of threatening or subsequent violence because they have approached the court. The magistrate can also order for residential orders. When we talk about residential orders, if the women do not have any other place to go, and she is also staying together in the same house, the magistrate can order for a shared accommodation where the husband or the father or anyone else who has committed the domestic violence should not harass her further or remove her or dispossess her from that particular house. Thirdly, restraining or alienating that particular house through in the form of rent or by selling. The person cannot force the victim to go away from that house, telling that they are planning to rent this house or sell this house and telling that you need to vacate. They cannot force them because the magistrate have the power to even protect them by staying in the same house. The magistrate can also issue a monetary relief to the aggrieved person by telling that they need to be paid maintenance for taking care of their daily needs, and also to pay the medical expenses, and in case there are children, to pay the children's fees, the maintenance of the children, and for the educational expenses of the children. The magistrate can also pass a compensatory order to provide compensation to the aggrieved person for their injuries caused, for the mental torture which was caused to the person, and for the emotional distress. Hope this video has given you a brief idea on what is domestic violence, for whom it is applicable, and once you are subjected to any form of abuse, where can you go and file a complaint. Thank you.
Hope the information contained in this video was useful to you. We look forward to each one of your support and cooperation in making this initiative a success. For more details about the trust, do visit us at www.legalatrust.in. Kindly subscribe this channel and click on the bell icon to get the latest updates about various law-related educational videos. Thanks for watching.